Steve, I'm going to make sure that you have remote ready for when it's your turn. Okay, I see, there it is. All right. So again, I'm Lisa Aubin, and this is Steve Kodad. Thank you so much for joining us. We're coming to you from the Intrinsic School of Feng Shui, and we're here to talk to you about real estate tips using Feng Shui. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's a little bit more about me. I am a red ribbon Feng Shui consultant. You might think of that as a black belt in Feng Shui. There's other ways to think of it, but in essence, it is an achievement to be able to test into this position. Both Steve and I are red ribbon consultants, and it required us to test a comprehensive exam, timed exam, and we were able, both of us, to achieve this recognition. I am proud to say I'm a mentor of dozens of wonderful students, really making a wave out there in the world. I love to speak. I do many speaking engagements, from Feng Shui staging to holistic spaces, and working with my quantum energy as well. I'm a full-time Feng Shui firm owner. I own Cloud9 Feng Shui. I've helped many residential and commercial real estate professionals sell and attract, magnetize their properties to attract the most abundant deals and the best clients. And selling for top dollar, everyone around that closing table is happy after they work with me. And I give credit to my Feng Shui principles and my consultations that I use. You see here me pictured with a parakeet. Funny story about this parakeet. This is an old picture, Steve, I think from like 2012 or 2013. This picture was taken right after I did a Feng Shui consultation. Steve came to a house I was selling. I called for extra support backup and Googled, and lo and behold, Steve was about 40 minutes away from me. I said, Steve, please come help me. There's something missing energetically about my home. And before I took another big chunk out of the price, Steve came to the rescue, did a very impressive, thorough consultation with me, gave me very simple recommendations and Feng Shui cures to implement, and it shifted the entire energy of the property. Not only did I attract a buyer within the next week and sold for top dollar, no price reduction was needed. The deal for me was optimal. I was able to stay in the home until I found a new one, found the best home. In essence, I had the best chi, the best energy about me. You see, this little parakeet even just flew up to me while I was at a restaurant eating. So we call that good chi, life force energy in Feng Shui. When you have a good energy about you, you are magnetizing yourself to opportunities and even friendly little critters like this. So I will always remember that. Thank you, Steve. So
you're welcome.
Yes. And then I went on consecutively to take Steve's Feng Shui Staging Professional Certification course twice, which I love so much. And I'm so honored to be able to join him in creating this Intrinsic School of Feng Shui. So that's a little bit about me. Steve, I'm going to give you the remote and I'll let you share a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Again, my name is Steve Kodad, and as Lisa said, I'm a red ribbon Feng Shui consultant too, and I'm very proud of that. I found Feng Shui in a sort of a different way. I was a real estate agent, actually a broker, owner of a real estate company, 34 agent real estate company in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was a listing agent, and I was always looking for ways to actually sell my listings a little faster. And I discovered Feng Shui one day, and one thing led to another, and it became pretty much everything to me at that point, to the point where two years later, I actually went to my partner and told him I wanted to sell the company, my part of the company, to just follow Feng Shui. And so I've been doing that for about 15 years. I started about 17 years ago in Feng Shui and got certified at that point. So it's been something that I've been so enthused about for such a long time at this point, to the point where you can see the bottom picture, I'm at a book signing at a Barnes & Noble. And so I have written a few books. If you can see the picture up in the right, I am to the far right there pointing at a picture. So I've spoken in a lot of different places and for associations. This one is like you're seeing half the crowd. There's an awful lot of interest in this. These are all real estate agents. So I speak all over the country and for franchises and associations. And there's, like I said, a lot of interest. I had the honor of actually being involved with a PBS show also. So it's become my passion, you might say. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the things that's going to be a little different for us. Some of you have been involved with a list for our newsletter. And we're going to do our newsletter differently, probably more differently than anybody at this point. We're going to do it online every month. And we're going to do it for 27 minutes. And I'll get to the point why 27 minutes in a moment. But the newsletter online, I sort of felt, as did Lisa, that this was a really great way of getting information to people, because a lot more people really like to watch video or to get on a webinar instead of reading. More and more people in our society are a little lax about reading long things, you might say. So we're going to be doing this on a very consistent basis. And these are some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. Now, the first topic you see there is maybe the most important one on here is safety. And we're going to be referring to that with some of our tips tonight, how important that is. But Feng Shui is really, really important with respect to safety. If you don't have that in your environment, whether we're talking a home or an office, you're really lacking in so many ways. You're really hurting what you can actually finally produce, be creative with. So safety on a conscious and a subconscious level is tremendously important that you get that across. So when you're selling a home, believe it or not, you want to take care of that. You want to take care of that immediately. And if you do that, then all of a sudden the comfort in the place is a lot better too. If you're in the business of real estate, you probably know that if the listing, your house you're trying to sell, is not comfortable, boy, are you in a bad situation. You're really going to have trouble really getting anybody to be very interested. And if they do make an offer, it's probably not going to make your clients terribly happy. So safety, comfort, they sort of go next to each other. But we're going to be giving tips about health every month, certainly real estate tips. And we're going to be talking about children and relationships, which again are part of Feng Shui. You may or may not know that. But having good relationships is a very, very pivotal thing, more than ever now, because of the way things are going in ours with respect to the pandemic. So we really want to try to make your home a better place for you and your family. Let's face it, we're now sort of closeted much more than we ever have been. Hopefully you like your relatives, or you like your friends, because let's face it, you're seeing them a little bit more than normal. So we're spending a lot of times in these environments. So it's to your benefit to make sure that the environment is going to be a very positive one that really makes people feel okay and feels comfortable. So again, our virtual newsletter is complimentary. So we really want you to come and listen every month, but it is going to be recorded. So, make sure if you haven't registered for this newsletter that you do so with either Lisa or myself, so that we can send the recording to you every month also. But we'd really love you to show up live and be involved with the Q&A. So again, you're going to learn some valuable tips every month. And really the bottom line is improving your life. I mean, that's really the bottom line for this whole thing. That's the bottom line for Feng Shui. And we want to make your life easier. And Feng Shui makes your life easier. So again, we're inviting you to this very short webinar full of great tips that really are for the entire family. Now, the 27 minutes, the idea is that 2 plus 7 comes up to 9, and 9 is a very, very auspicious number in Feng Shui and in the Far East. So that's where it came from. But I wanted to get it under 30 minutes, and 27 minutes is where we're at. And again, it adds up to 9. And we do modules on numerology and all those kind of things in our training. Again, the hosts are Lisa and myself, and we really like to think that we make homes and environments special. We make places a special sanctuary for you and your loved ones. So we're going to give you, we were talking about giving you 3 tips. The more and more we started talking, the more and more we started putting this program together, we decided to give you more than 3 tips tonight. So I'm sure that's okay with you. So again, Feng Shui tips are going to be just part of what we do every month. Now, a lot of people think of Feng Shui with respect to real estate only about selling a home, and that is faulty. Don't think of it just that way. There's so much more to Feng Shui and real estate than just helping you to sell a home. Yeah, it really helps you greatly with staging a home very inexpensively and making your clients feel very, very positive about the situation, because quite often they jump right in and really are gung-ho about it. But believe it or not, we also talk in our classes, our Feng Shui staging professional class that's coming up, about how to build a home correctly, how to find the correct lot. And we take you right through the idea from the foundation of which way it should be directed, directional-wise, to the point of going through the framing and the sheetrock and all that kind of stuff. So that's part of it. But the other part is choosing the right home when you're looking for an existing home. A lot of people don't even think about that a great deal when they're thinking about Feng Shui. This is a big part of what Feng Shui and real estate is about. You choose the right home, a lot of things go right for you. So you'll find out in the training that we do that we talk a lot about, finding the right lot, finding the right neighborhood, finding a lot of things that you would never think about that would actually make you and your family much more successful, much more creative, and actually more healthy too. So let me give you the first tip, and then I'm going to turn it back to Lisa. But here's a tip that is really very important to you about the idea of going green with respect to your environments. Now, I'm working on a module right now that I'm really excited about, and I'll be giving that to everybody in a few weeks, but it has a lot to do with this. So this particular study found that green space where you live, the more you have, the happier you seem to be. And this was discovered through a study done in Wisconsin using satellite data. And they revealed this really interesting fact that people living in areas with less than 10% tree canopy were much more likely to be depressed, stressed, and anxious. And they found out again, the people that had more than that had more green space that they could actually look at, see, walk through, were much happier. So, of course, a lot of your clients are maybe living in the city or living in an apartment, okay? And they might have little access to green space. But you yourself can really help them greatly, and they'll remember you if you help them greatly by trying to advocate for them to have a lot of live plants in their apartment or in the city. It's a great way to make them feel a lot better. So you'll find that Feng Shui is a lot about nature. If you bring nature into their environments, things just get a lot better. They just naturally do. And again, you look at that Wisconsin study, it backs it up. And we like to back up a lot of our information by using research and studies. I don't know that there's a Feng Shui school out there that does that. I know the ones that we graduated from did not do that, but we do that. We want to make sure that this stuff makes sense and it can be backed up by science. So in summary, before I give it back to Lisa at this point, I'm fond of saying that your front yard in a house is going to kill a sale. So we spend a lot of time in our training about how to make sure the front of the yard, whether it's the house or your office or whatever, is really done well, and that the back has to have a mountain. Now, I'm not talking about you moving Mount Everest over there. I'm talking about making sure that you have some support that shows back there. That support, which gives you privacy and protects your back, is very pivotal in the way we talk about Feng Shui. So how do you do that? Well, you do it with trees, you do it with landscaping, you do it maybe with a wall or a fence. But anytime you have a little bit more support, you're going to feel more confident. So this is one of the tips that we're going to give you tonight. I'm going to give it back to Lisa at this point. But again, I hope you're going to decide to sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. And we're looking forward to doing this on a continual basis. Lisa?
Okay. Take that remote control back from you. Yes, so many wonderful points, because these are very subtle things that can make a space feel more comfortable, more attractive, and safer. Oh, wait a minute. Did I skip anything? No. Okay.
No, you're good.
There's a happy worker. That's me every day. You know why? Because I have a great view at all times when I'm working. Having a view of the outdoors has been shown to promote performance in a workplace. Employees who sit near a window are better at staying on task. They want to stick with you longer. It's great for employee retention when there's windows. I know this better than many. I spent 20 years in live television production, and we spent many a times in a dark editing bay. And it's just not healthy. It doesn't make your employees stick around. There's an actual study in 2003 that we reference here where they've evaluated call center employees that rotated on their shift. And when they were near to windows, they were found to have an additional $3,000 worth of productivity more per year. So talking money too, science and money here, backing it up. Natural light makes us happier. In Feng Shui, light is one of our greatest cures. Light is one of the greatest manifestations of qi, or life force energy, as we reference in Feng Shui. So the more natural light, the more closer to sunlight we can get, the better in terms of setting an environment up for success, whether we're hoping to attract a buyer or to just make it feel better for those who are living within it. At any time, turning on the lights within a home and even on the exterior has a way of activating interest with those around it. So that's another great tip is, are you selling your home? Are you working with someone selling a home? Turn on the lights and make sure they're more natural. Okay, this might have been a picture taken of me a couple months ago with my two littles. A team of UCLA researchers recently observed 32 Los Angeles families and found the mother's stress hormones spiked during times they were dealing with their kids' belongings, aka the tornadoes. Similar to when you're multitasking, when you have too much physical clutter around you that you can see, it's overloading of your senses, making you feel stressed, and it impairs your ability to think at all. So there's another layer to mom brain. Tell your homeowners this, tell the people you live with. Feng Shui involves more than just items. We're thinking about ways that we can reduce clutter and how it impacts our brains and how we feel. Cleaning, okay? So a study led by a research scientist and professor at Indiana University found people with clean houses are healthier than people with messy houses. In fact, those that clean their houses more often, that was a bigger indicator of their physical health than having neighborhood walkability. I believe it. I see it every day in my work. Deep cleaning a person's home can also impact their emotions. It impacts us on all the levels of our consciousness. Talking about that clutter and how it impacts our awareness. A deep cleaning helps sell homes greater. then, and you can imagine how many of your clients, if you're realtors, walk in to a home and just walk right back out when they see a mess. So that's the first place to start, is that deep clean, because Feng Shui involves all of the 5 senses. It involves all of our senses. So how an environment or a home feels, it can involve the sight, the scent, the taste, even if you're putting out food, the ambiance in terms of music, even the climate that we're feeling. All of these are important. So when you're looking to either stage yourself or get in there, or have your homeowner stage with you, or hire a professional stager, or maybe you're a stager yourself, take into consideration all of the senses when you're creating that environment. Steve and I know this firsthand. This is the secret to success, playing into these senses. So in Feng Shui, we are working with the 5 earthly elements: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And when these elements are in balance, as they are in nature, we feel a harmony, and we feel a sense of like, and our shoulders drop. This is one of the #1 requests from homeowners and business owners when I do consultations is, can I feel more harmonious in my home or my workplace? Yes, you can. In fact, we're looking for imbalances as Feng Shui practitioners, and Steve and I teach this in our courses. Often there are 2 elements that are too prevalent. Too much of them can feel overbalanced and therefore unbalanced. So this is like a negative. You need to bring in the others to appeal more to the buyer when you're selling in this case. So first comes to mind in our area, there's a lot of wood and we see a lot of earth. So a lot of wood in terms of furnishings, and then earth tones, and that can feel a little overwhelming and muddy, and it's missing some other elements. But I've seen the other end of the spectrum in more modern homes within the area and the coastal, more that are heavy in the water and metal, and they're missing the other elements, and it feels cold. So as a practitioner, when you learn the way that we look at environments, you can see this easier and easily say, we need to bring in some of these tones, whether it's in actual furnishing, colors, or even shapes or textures. Speaking of, sharp edges is a big no-no in Feng Shui. We have a term for it. It's called poison arrows. And if you join us, we'll teach you a little bit more about it so you can be obsessed like we are with softening edges. Softening is a term we use in Feng Shui as practitioners. Doesn't make sense to everybody else, but once you learn it, it's something that you'll implement every time and you'll feel a difference. So edges, they tend to make visitors feel uncomfortable and take a step back. Softening these edges, whether you're putting something on top of it or placing a round object so it feels safer and more noticeable, is very important in selling a home. And in our Feng Shui Staging Professional course, we teach about this on so many levels, hours of it. It will come up. You will learn more and more techniques that you can implement to help soften edges and make the spaces more attractive. So Feng Shui certification, near and dear to our heart. Not only do we teach you to sell fast, buy smart, and build right, but we teach you our combined vault of Feng Shui information that we have learned and implemented over the years. And we practice on a daily basis. So you learn a lot about our secrets to success and happiness and why we're so passionate about what we do. Becoming a Feng Shui staging professional was a gateway to me. Sure, I had read a lot of books, too many books actually, so many books that I was confused about Feng Shui. I didn't know how to hone and direct my information very well. But once I started to learn Steve's techniques in terms of Feng Shui staging and real estate, it really made a lot of sense to me and very much simplified the experience to a way that it opened the doors. And then I deepened my education and my mentors and my masters who taught me. So if this is something that's interesting to you, this little bit that we're sharing with you tonight, maybe it's your gateway into activating a higher level for your career in Feng Shui. We're starting this class on October 18th, so it's right around the corner. If you're interested, if what we're talking about is piquing your interest and sounds fun, and maybe you just like hanging out with us, send us an email. We'll send you the PDF, or send us an email, and we can get you on a discovery call too to answer any questions. We're really good about answering emails. As a surprise, we were talking about bonuses tonight. We are extending our early bird pricing to you for watching this class with us and engaging with us, or if you're watching the recording, we'll extend it to you. We're going to extend our early bird price of $405. And it's going to be extended until the very last hour of October 13th, and just to you for watching this and engaging with us. And we very much appreciate your interest and your time and your energy that you're exchanging with us. 405, why, Steve? Why is it $405?
It adds up to 9, yeah.
It adds up to 9, and 9 we know is very auspicious. It's a blessing just interacting with the number 9. We know that 9 symbolizes completion energetically. If you have challenges completing things or feeling satisfied with something, using the number 9 really takes you up to that extra level. We want to thank you at this time for showing up with us tonight and getting a feel for what you can expect in our virtual newsletter, our webinars, our engagements with you, and we will build upon these. It gives us another chance to see what is needed and adapt to our like-minded friends out there in the field. So in real estate, whether you're a stager, realtor, whether you're an investor, maybe you're working in home management, property management, we're here for you. And there's more to your career than what you realize or what you've seen up until today. I promise you. So just shoot us an email, office@intrinsicSchoolofFengShui.com, and one of us will get back to you with a PDF on our upcoming class. Very thorough. We love to be thorough with information in terms of videos and handouts, and we want to be there for you essentially. So, and starting tonight. So thank you so much. We're so happy you could be here. And before we let you go, I want to open it up and see if there's any questions or any comments. Okay. We have a few minutes and then I'll let you go. But and Christelle, thank you so much. It's so good to see a student that we love so much here and a graduate of one of our programs.
I just have one question. I thought I had already signed up for the newsletter, but I haven't received one, so I guess I didn't. So how do you do that?
Well, as a graduate, you are on our newsletter list. Anyone who has not signed up can send us an email to office@intrinsicSchoolofFengShui.com, and we'll get you on that notification. So you'll be receiving email blasts from us when we're hosting our next event, whether that's a newsletter, virtual chat with us, or whether even that's another course or a speaker opportunity. We'll make sure we keep in touch. So good question.
Great. And I know tomorrow something is happening with Rachel Weaver.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes. So once you get involved in our community, we do keep the momentum going. We bring in guest speakers when we can, and that's therefore an opportunity for our online virtual newsletter too, to bring in guest speakers down the road for the greater public. But look us up in all the social media, hook up with us on Instagram, LinkedIn, if that's where you found us, and also Facebook. And we want to engage in all the ways. But thank you so much.
Awesome.
Steve, any last words for you?
No, I appreciate you all showing up, and we'll get this recording out to you later tonight, I guess, maybe tomorrow. And we're looking forward to doing this on a continual basis, and this is the first of many.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a great evening.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.